Spending more of the state's budget surplus on children. That's the push from Connecticut Voices for Children's annual budget and tax forum. Here's News 8's Kent Pierce.
A group that advocates for our youngest and most vulnerable says Connecticut is not spending enough on kids.
Even though surplus dollars are overflowing in the billions, the revenue controls are such that programs and services, both current and new, that provide financial relief and support to our state's children and families really can't be funded with those surplus dollars.
In its annual budget and tax forum, Connecticut Voices for Children says those revenue controls or fiscal guardrails are excessively restrictive. Over the past 7 fiscal years, the state budgeted to have a surplus totaling less than $6 billion, but the state actually ended up with a surplus of $12.5 billion. Voices for Children says that means the fiscal controls were more than twice as restrictive as designed.
Meaning this revenue was not used to fund current public services or make public investments that support families and children and grow the state's economy.
They say the volatility cap that decides how much money is saved in the state's reserve fund was poorly designed. They're suggesting that simple changes to the cap could have freed up billions in spending over the past 7 years. They say just a fraction of that would have made a world of difference to the state's kids.
With $1 billion, it would be possible to provide additional tax relief to low and middle income families, to provide increased support for housing, to provide increased support for child care. And even then, there would be much more that could still be possible with that money.
Of the surplus money that has been spent, Voices for Children says the state is paying more than is required to pay off long-term employee pension liability.
That's like making additional payments on your mortgage while neglecting to adequately feed your children or failing to provide adequate child care or education.
Instead of paying off that debt from the past, the group recommends investing in children would create economic growth in the future. I'm Kent Pierce, News 8.